Hello, I'm Stephen Chernisky, Chief Science Officer for Unigen. Today we're going to be exploring a part of the EcoNet which is critically important for me and also important for you. We're talking about Unigen, which is the research division of EcoNet, and with me today is Dr. Edward Cannon. Dr. Cannon has been with Unigen now for about 2 years, and that's not exactly where you started, is it?
No, Stephen, it isn't. Let's see, started as a scientist, trained at Harvard as a molecular biologist, happened to be at the right place at the right time, Boston, when biotechnology took off, and was fortunate enough to be involved in founding and succeeding in profitable outcomes with 6 biotechnology companies in the Boston area.
What I'd like to talk about now is the differentiating factor between Unigen and Unigen and the conventional nutrition product companies that are out there. So could you tell us a little bit more about your discovery process and how an ingredient goes from the plant to the finished product?
Sure. So what we do at Unigen is we take what is essentially a pharmaceutical discovery approach. So when you go through our labs today, you'll see the same equipment that's used in every pharmaceutical research program. You'll see that we access the very same biology that gets accessed in drug discovery and development. But we use that technology in a very different way. We apply that technology to a proprietary collection that Unigen has of natural products that are derived from medicinal plants that have a long legacy of safe human use in the areas in which those medicinal plants are grown, as opposed to the pharmaceutical industry, which of course has very large collections of proprietary, non-natural, chemically synthesized molecules that they apply that very same technology, that discovery technology to. Those non-natural molecules, of course, have never seen the human body, and hence the side effects that limit their use.
At the same time, I want to differentiate Unigen and Unigen from the, what I would call the conventional nutritional product companies out there who don't have laboratories and who don't do research, and by the way, who don't have any proprietary ownership of the compounds that they're selling. Tell us a little bit about the patent portfolio.
Sure. Well, as I indicated, we use a pharmaceutical quality discovery approach. We are able to discover and identify and characterize molecularly the active components of these medicinal plants. So this is the molecular material that provides the health benefit. Because we identify the molecular component, we're able to actually patent that. So whereas others might have happened upon that plant in the past, no one prior to Unigen has actually discovered the molecular component responsible for the benefit. We also do extensive safety testing, and we follow that up with extensive human clinical trials. These again are pharmaceutical quality human clinical trials, randomized, placebo-controlled, double-blind clinical trials to demonstrate that in fact the benefit we hope to provide is indeed provided to humans.
Beautiful. Dr. Cannon, thank you so much for joining us.
You bet. Thank you, Stephen.
We're now in the Unigen plant library. This is a very special place and a place that's near and dear to your heart. This is Dr. Chi Jia, who is the CSO of Unigen. As Chief Science Officer, he oversees the collection process. In other words, he tells people what he's looking for, and then we engage a number of collection agencies to go out and find medicinal plants for you and your team to explore.
Yes.
You want to explain to us, how does that happen? How do you know what to look for?
Yeah, we started the medicinal plant collection back to 1997. We contracted with more than 12 companies and universities to collect medicinal plants from all around the world. We look into the specific medicinal usage of plants and to look into the potential functions and study them through our research program.
And this is an important consideration because a lot of times people will talk about natural products and they'll say, why are you guys doing all that analytical science? Why don't you just go with the traditional use that the plant has been used for?
One is novelty, and certainly there are so many active components in there, and looking into learning the usage and does not yield novel components such as protecting the functions of those ingredients was never being explored and based on the traditional usage. so we can find the novel and the ingredients.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So in addition to the traditional use that it's been used for, what you're saying is that your research team is able to identify other potential benefits
Exactly.
to be derived from that plant.
Yeah.
So I get it now. It's the combination of the traditional use and that information and knowledge combined with your team's Western analytical science to basically look at the plant, identify all the compounds and exactly what those compounds do. So about how many plants are in this library right now?
Currently, in this library, we have a close to 6,000 medicinal plants. And,
in this library?
In this library. And we also have about similar numbers of plants collected in Unigen Korean site.
So altogether, close to 12,000 plants.
It has been collected.
And
yes.
then when you divide those plants into fractions, about how many fractions do we have?
We produced close to 14,000 extracts and more than 300,000 of fractions.
More than 300,000 fractions. All right. So this is, to your knowledge, is this the largest functional medicinal plant library that you know of?
I can say it's one of them,
Yes.
because many of the universities and in different countries such as United States and Japan, Germany, they also have a large amount of plant collections. Yes. And but we certainly in the nutraceutical industry, we are the leading companies.
All right, so now we're in the second stage of the phytologics process, and I'm here with Mei Hong, and Mei has been collecting plants and cataloging plants and studying plants now for going on 12 years. Your job then is to take plant samples and to make sure that they are identified and a voucher specimen is created. Now, this voucher specimen is what would be in our library with the taxonomy, that is the identification of the plant in terms of genus, species, cultivar, and variety, and then all of that information goes into the library and that information is shared with other plant libraries around the world. You've been doing this, and we're now adding about 1,000 plants a year. How do you manage all of that information?
Well, we have to, have a database to keep all the information come in. And first, when a plant come in, you have to check, match all the information, the name, the usage or the location where they collected, and put all the information in the database. At the initial stage, we just collect a certain amount, and until if you find something interest, we might go out for more, or maybe like we have a vertical integration or aggregator, so we might grow our own.
Well, that's an important point, that when we do find a plant of interest, Bill Lee has purchased tracts of land in virtually all climate zones. So it looks to me like we're capable of growing just about anything that you may find that has medicinal activity that you want to pursue.